So the Wales team to face New Zealand is out. There has been some changes, some enforced, some tactical. We'll get straight into the team. So they swapped the props around again. You got Carey, Azarati and Dewi Lake at hooker, who is captain. Dav Jenkins and Adam Beard stay in the second row. Then the back row, there's a change. Unfortunately, Ollie Cracknell has a hamstring injury, so he's going to have to drop out of the 23. That means there's room for Mann to move back to 6. Harry Deeves is going to get his first cap at 7, and Wainwright moves to 8. Kind of excited by that. Thomas Williams and Dan Edwards stay at the halfbacks. Then there's another change which I'm excited about. Joe Hawkins comes in to partner Max Llewellyn in the centre, and in the back line then Tom Rogers replaces Josh Adams on one wing, Rhys Ammett stays on the other wing, and Blair Murray stays at fullback. Then there are more changes on the bench. Brodie Coughlin is in for an injured Liam Belcher. I think it's a neck. Gareth Thomas in for Nicky Smith. I wonder if that's... There's no injury news, so I wonder if that's kind of building towards he's going to probably play against South Africa, or going to have to play against South Africa. Archie Griffin, Freddie Thomas, Ting Plumtree, Kieran Hardy, Jared Evans and Nick Tompkins stays on the bench. So Ben Thomas drops out completely. But I'll start with the pack. Obviously, the two props have swapped both ways, which is... I'm happy with that. I thought the two props that came on last week made a real impact. So giving them a start. This game might be a little bit more loose. So maybe not loose, but more open, given the way New Zealand play. So having Carey in there, it kind of makes a bit more sense. Dav Jenkins and Adam Beard stay in the second row. A little bit surprised. I wondered if we might see a change in that area. Obviously, we don't have too many changes, but given Adam Beard's come under quite a lot of criticism for basically offering nothing other than line out and maul, like he kind of always has. One carry last week, it's just not good enough for a monster of his size, but he keeps his spot. Maybe his experience was required, and they, like I said, not too many changes. I'm excited with this back row. A little bit worried as well. Mann going back to 6 makes sense. Deeves coming at 7, I'm excited about. What I am a little bit concerned is they're both on the smaller side for that position. Both pack a punch well above their weight, don't get me wrong, but it's only so much you can punch above your weight. At some point physics comes into it. But I think given again that the All Blacks tend to play a bit more wide and a bit more open, I think this could suit those two. Wainwright being 8, obviously, it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Cracknell did drop out after a really outstanding game last week. Then the back line, Hawkins in for Llewellyn. I'm really excited about this. This was the centre partnership I wanted going into the autumn tests. Obviously, Ben Thomas has come under a lot of criticism. I thought he might have potentially been dropped last week, and he wasn't, and then he didn't really do anything to impress this week. But a little bit surprised he's dropped out of the squad completely. But that's what they've gone with. But my biggest surprise, to be honest, is Blair Murray staying at fullback. I think this is a huge mistake. And you could say the first game he got exposed. The second one, they gave him a chance. They protected him by putting Cracknell and other players around him. But he still got exposed, and he still dropped the majority of the balls. So not changing him at fullback is kind of lunacy to me. But that's what the coach is on. Maybe the system requires a player of his type at fullback who can kick, and obviously is the outside half distributor. But I think I would have gone with Rogers and just add that bit more security and height, or bring in Abitham. But they've stuck with Blair Murray and expect a lot of high balls put on him. As for the bench, excited for Brodie Coughlin. Big fan of his. I like what he offers around the park. Very similar mould to a Dewi Lake type player, big strong ball carrier. So we'll see him hopefully get his hands on the ball at some point. And then the bench is kind of more or less as you were. I thought Nick Tompkins and Jared Evans both made a good impact coming off the bench. So, you know, if the game is open, this is quite an open, expansive team. There's a couple of players that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Beard and Llewellyn for getting their hands on the ball, because I don't think they've been doing it enough. And watch out for the aerial battle, because we haven't won one of the battles yet, and it's going to be pivotal in this one again for territory, and that's why we really struggled to get a foothold in the game in the Japan game, I believe. So let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the review.